and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Titaliro. If it's your first time here, hello and welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always tuning in and for always supporting me. Guys, I appreciate we are growing every day, road to 1,000 subscribers. So in today's video, remember I promised you guys roundtable discussions, career guidance, and to host some people here. So guys, today I have an amazing guest. Welcome, Miss Nadine.
Oh my gosh, hi Tyree. Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be back here. This is exciting and roundtable discussion, finally. How are you feeling?
I'm so excited.
Yeah?
Because the reason why I bought this table, I actually did the table shopping with my people.
Is it?
Yeah, you see, I wanted this, but now it's happening like 5 months later.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm hosting people, and she's my first host for the roundtable discussion. So guys, Nadine, she's Zimbabwean. She is my friend, and she's an honors nursing student. Here you see.
I wish accounting.
Yeah. So the purpose of her being here is that I wanted to inspire someone, because you know guys, this age we are living in, most people they have passion towards nursing, especially my fellow Zimbabweans. You guys are thinking about going to the UK, Canada, Australia, and nursing is the way to go. So she's here to tell you guys firstly why she chose nursing, and also to tell someone, even you're older, right, but you have a child, you have your younger sibling who doesn't know what she wants to do or he wants to do. So you must be in a position to guide that person. So if you have someone who doesn't know what to do, these days nursing is the way to go, honestly. Facing our economy, people are migrating, and nursing are on demand like nurses. So Nadine, the floor is yours. So Nadine, my first question to you is, why did you choose to study nursing?
Okay.
Like when you were in high school or primary, like you know when you were in primary grade 1,
Yeah.
what do you want to do when you grow up? Were you saying you want to be a nurse? Or it's something that just came? Because some people, they just know what to study when they finish matric or something.
Yeah.
What's your story? Tell us your story.
Right, so again, hi, my name is Nadine and I am doing my honors in nursing science at
Which university?
At Northwest University,
Okay.
Potchefstroom campus to be specific, because Mafeking also offers nursing.
Oh, I didn't know.
And yes, in the past it used to be a different curriculum, however now we are aligned. So the kind of nursing that I'm doing, it allows me to be a general nurse, a midwife, a psychiatric nurse, and a community nurse.
Wow.
So the curriculum that is now being offered at Northwest University only allows you to either be a general nurse or a midwife only. However, the curriculum that I'm doing is phased out, but it's safe to say that it's the best of all four. We'd say the best of both, but the best of all four. And to answer your question, when I was in primary school, your parents always impose the idea that you should be a doctor, you know?
Yes.
And I think personally for me, it was based off of family influence.
Yeah.
My dad's uncle, or at least my grandfather, may his soul rest in peace, Dr. Reginald Besai, he was Robert Mugabe's doctor for a while.
Wow.
And he also was the regional doctor in I think Mutare, is it? I'm not sure, but I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, I understand.
It's okay.
Yes.
But he was a regional doctor in his area. He was a well-renowned doctor. And my father's other uncle was also a well-renowned doctor, you know. And then my grandmother, who's still alive now, she's a nurse. She was a nurse rather. She's retired. She was the chief of nursing at Harare Hospital.
Okay.
So the influence of healthcare has always just been in family. However, when I got to high school, I started to become more creative. I started to realize that I'm a very creative person. I'm into creative arts. I sew, I paint, I draw, all those things. I wanted to be an architect. And when my desired university didn't take me in,
what was your desired? I just want to know. Sorry.
So for architecture, the desired university was Tshwane University of Technology.
Okay.
Purely because Tshwane University of Technology seems to have raised the bar when it comes to architecture.
Okay.
I know Wits and Nelson Mandela also have the course, but it was never a desire of mine to go as far as Nelson Mandela. Maybe UCT, but I never thought of it.
Yeah.
And then Tux never took me in for occupational therapy, which is almost similar to what I'm doing, but what I'm doing also includes.
I don't know what's occupational therapy. Honestly, I've never heard about it.
So occupational therapy really just assists the rehabilitation of patients.
Okay.
So if you, for example, experience a stroke and let's say your left arm and your left leg stops working, the functionality of your left side of your body is deteriorated, and you need to regain that rehabilitation. You need to rehabilitate it. An occupational therapist then comes in and finds ways for you to be able to heal. So if it means let's say you amputated your arm, the occupational therapist will design an arm that will fit your hand and your muscular movement that you have left, and you'll be able to, do things once again the way that you used to. So that's what an occupational therapist does. I think that was my shortcut into getting into healthcare.
Okay.
But I've seen that nursing actually entails of almost everything.
Okay.
And then I think you asked me what it takes to get into nursing. Did you ask?
Okay. Firstly, my question was, did you know you were gonna be a nurse from
a young age?
Yes.
No.
Then you answered me. Then now my second question is, if one of my viewers is inspired and wants to become a nurse, or if there's a mother out there who wants their child to become a nurse, what is the career path? Is it the subjects they have to do in high school? What should they be interested in? But it's like catch them young.
Yes, right.
Since they are young from primary, they should be interested in certain modules. Like I studied law, you should love history. Personality-wise, you should be talkative.
Right, yeah.
Yes. Then mathematics is my field. They don't even look. It doesn't matter. I was not good at math.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But it's just English, history, literature.
Your languages, basically.
Languages. In your side, what should a child be passionate about, and which subjects should they consider?
Okay, so our parents will often tell us that get into sciences, get into physics, biology, because that's the way to go. It's not a lie, but it's not entirely true as well. Because for you to get into nursing at Northwest University, you require an average of, I think, 60% in English, right? Home language, or Afrikaans home language, right? And then it can be either of the following three things. It can either be a 50%. I'm not sure if it's 50 or 60%. I need to just double check on that. Feel free to correct me. But I believe you need a 50% in either mathematics or physics or biology. One of those three things together with your 60% in English or Afrikaans home language. And then also life orientation, which every university almost requires for you to have. So to sum it up, for you to get into nursing at Northwest University, feel free to correct me. I applied like 5 years ago, but I believe you need 60% in English, right, home language, or Afrikaans home language, and then mathematics 50%, or physical science 50%. Or biology 50%. So you could have accounting and CAT and biology and math literacy, I think it's called. You'd still be able to get in with your biology marks and your English or Afrikaans marks. However, when I say that it's not entirely true, I mean it's not entirely true to Northwest University. To get into nursing at, for example, University of Pretoria, they needed you to have physics. And you think about it and just say physics. But when I think about the course that I do, the most physics that I did was biochemistry and microbiology, and it ended there, and also pharmacology. But it's the concepts of what you were taught in physics, the thinking process, the critical thinking process that you were taught in physical science in high school that allows for you to conquer biochemistry. you know, and also just being familiar with the chemical names
Yeah.
that you learn in chemistry in high school will also help you in biochemistry and microbiology. However, there were some people that never had physics in high school that do nursing now. So those are the subjects, but I would also encourage, you know, prospective nursing students to be creative. Allow yourself to be creative, because nursing is not a direct, you know, career. It is a direct career because you're working one-on-one with the patient, but you need to be creative. You need to be able to apply creativity in situations that arise randomly out of nowhere, you know. You also need to allow your children to, or at least allow yourself to learn languages, and it's something that we've spoken about before. Learn languages, because you're working with a dynamic group of people, a diverse group of people. Even though you don't need to have, you know, you said you need to be a talkative person to be a law. You don't need to be a social butterfly to be a nurse, but you need to be confident. Because can you imagine a patient coming to be treated and the nurse can barely explain what they're about to do to you? It will make you as the patient think that this nurse is not confident in what they're doing, and therefore you start to fear for your life. A nurse needs to be confident. Even though you're not a social butterfly, it's important for you to be able to be nurtured into gaining that confidence. So extracurricular activities, public speaking, outreach, because as an outreach you're you know, engaging with a diverse group of people. Things like that, you know, extracurricular activities, definitely.
Oh, thank you. I think you guys, you are hearing yourself. That's informative. Okay, my next question is, how is it like studying nursing? Because honestly, girl, if you ask me about law, I would tell you have to be strong. Because it's hectic.
I can imagine.
First year, it's a bit better. As you go, it gets harder. And law is all about reading. Guys, have you seen our law textbooks? They're like this. You have to know the constitution, their acts. We even have the Health Act, the Child Act, whatever. So you have to read. Then practicals are there, but they're not that hard. It's just like going to moot court. You can even decide to go or not. Like, guys, I'm saying the truth. I've never done moot court before. Cause why? I knew I'm not gonna be a litigation lawyer because I'm not passionate about the court. Like, law is broad. So like now I'm doing masters in environmental law. I'll just be a compliance officer, just dealing with paperwork and stuff. So I'm not a court person. So in your field, how is it like? Do you guys do practicals? Do you choose or not? Then how are the studies? Even like, you know, some of the things, like for example engineering, it's more practical and stuff. There's no really theory. Law is about theory, honestly. So how is it like? So someone you can just admire to become a nurse, but will you put through? That's my question. Get it? So what should they be prepared for? I hope you got my question.
Yes, I definitely got your question.
Okay.
In essence, I'm going to be frank about this. When you apply for nursing, they require for you to do job shadowing at a hospital or clinic or whatever.
Maybe someone doesn't understand what is job shadowing.
So job shadowing is when you are not registered as a healthcare practitioner or a healthcare worker. You're a student, you're a prospective student, and you have gained access into applying for the specific field that you're going into. And then the university will then send you documentation to go to any hospital or facility that offers healthcare to say, okay, Tariro, you are the nurse here, you're the midwife at this hospital. I'd like to shadow you for 60 hours, which means for 60 hours, I will be following you and watching what you do, observing what you do, how you do it, how you work with patients, so that I can have a brief idea of what I'm getting myself into. But now the thing is, when they send you this application, they don't specify what kind of hospital you must go to. And the mistake that I made was going to a private hospital, where things are smooth, things are beautiful, things are clean, things are amazing.
People always laugh, like, especially when you're giving birth, they'll say go to the private one, because the public one, it's hectic.
You know, I would say the opposite, but I have my reasons.
Okay.
But so my advice, firstly, is go to a public hospital. If you are a prospective nursing student and you are in the phase of going for job shadowing and everything, definitely go to a public facility, public clinic, and go to a high high volume facility, a facility that has a lot of traffic. You know, those hospitals always busy. Even if you pass by, there's a lot of spitty going on, a lot of chaos.
Yes.
Go there, because that is where you're going to see what real nursing is. If you're from Johannesburg, I would say go to Baragwana Hospital. If you're from Pretoria, go to Steve Biko. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't go to the private hospitals because it's beautiful there. So now when it comes to your question about practicals, from the moment that you start with your first year, I remember on the 11th of January 2019, when I started nursing, our director of nursing, our parents were in the room with us, and she said, parents, expect to see your children in March for the first and their last holiday. And that was true. Since my first year, I have not had what they call recess. Not because of being overworked. Please, don't think the university is overworking us.
I wouldn't cope.
Excuse me. Please don't think the university is overworking us. No. Our curriculum is just built in a way that we cannot afford to have but regular recess like the rest of the school.
Yes.
Our recess, for example, as nursing students, is in between exams. Most times our exams start earlier than you guys and they end earlier than the rest of the school. So we find a break in between the first opportunity exams and the second opportunity exams, then we go home. Now when the rest of the school is on recess, we are back for practicals because you're required to work 4,000 hours at the end of your 4-year degree. And if you divide those 4,000 hours, you see yourself working 1,000 hours every year. Now, how do you fit 1,000 hours every year in between theory classes? Because you still have theory classes. As much as you go to classes on a Monday at 7 o'clock, I also go to classes on Monday at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And on Tuesday, you find me going for practicals. And then on Wednesday, I'm back in class. Thursday, I'm in practicals. Friday, I'm back in class. I'm writing a test even. So between Monday and Thursday, it's a balance between practicals, classes, studying after those practicals, because on Friday you have a test. And on the weekend, yes, you can have a social life, but just know that before you have the social life, you must dedicate yourself to working on a Saturday. And if you miss hours, you're working on a Sunday. So to sum it up, right, in your first year, you work Mondays, Tuesdays, and every 2 Saturdays. It's fixed, right? You have recess in March. If you miss hours in between January and March, then you work back those hours in March. Second year, you work, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday, and every 2 Saturdays. If you miss shifts, you work them on a Sunday. So it's up to you. If you want to make sure that you are at church on a Sunday, you can't miss hours in the week. Recess, same thing. After exams, after second opportunity exams, you start working hours. October recess, you know you are working 5 night shifts straight, sometimes 7. December, if you're lucky, you're home before the 10th of December, if you're lucky. Then third year, it's Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every 2 Saturdays. And then in fourth year, that's when you experience what the real nurse works like, because you work 3 days in, 2 days off, 3 days in, 2 days off, like a regular nurse does. So in between those 2 days off, that's when you are actually doing theory work and writing tests.
Oh.
Yeah, so in essence, yes, nursing is a 50-50 practical and theory course.
Guys, I hope you are listening to this. You must like practicals, because you heard this part. The research is not as much as other students. So if you're a person who likes resting like me, nursing is not for you. I like research, guys. You know, my last question.
Yeah.
If it was not nursing, what would it be? 2, it would be A or B. What is it like for you?
Okay. I would definitely ask to be a gynecologist or obstetrician.
Okay.
So I would ask to get into the medical field and work as a doctor. Right?
Maybe someone who doesn't know, what does a gyna do?
Okay, so a gynecologist or an obstetrician, an obstetrician. An obstetrician basically is we call it before pregnancy, so prenatal phase, and then during pregnancy and postnatal. So obstetrician is hands-on involved. The gynecologist, you can go to a gynecologist even if you're not pregnant. You can go to a gynecologist to get a pap smear, a checkup, they work with female reproductive.
I always go,
That's good.
I always go for checkups. everything.
I'm
I
proud
make
of
use
you.
of my medical aid.
Yes, I'm proud of you for that. So a gynecologist basically works within the female reproductive department, and they can also assist pregnant mothers, you know, with sonographies and so forth. But an obstetrician does everything all around in terms of pregnancy. So even the birthing phase.
So all I can say is you're passionate about the medical field. Because still,
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say I want to be an engineer.
No. Woo.
So the medical field is for you.
Definitely.
So for you to become a gyne, obviously you have to be a medical doctor.
Yes, and then you specialize afterwards.
Oh.
So you need to specialize. I think those are two different fields. I'm not sure. Again, I stand corrected.
So in terms of someone who wants to become a doctor, I think
Mhm.
it's the same things which you studied, which you told us about nursing,
Yeah.
which will take you to medicine, right?
I know for a fact maths and physics are important.
Okay.
Maths and physics, well, in most of the universities, maths and physics are important, and it has to definitely be above 60%. And
Oh.
even then, not just by the margin, it has to be exceptional. I have a friend who was in the top 10 when we were in high school, and top 10, top 20 in the district even, but didn't get info medicine at one of the prestigious universities. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So medicine requires for you to be the best of the best, the creme de la creme, as they like to call it. However, there's still an opportunity for people who are psychologists or nurses or even sports science, not sports science, I'm not sure, but anyone who has done a health science degree, I believe a 4-year degree in health science, still has the opportunity to apply for what they call the GEP. It's a shortcut it's an acronym for the Graduate Entry Medical Program, which is offered, I think, only at Wits University. I stand corrected. There are other universities out of in Europe, out of Africa, that offer the GEMP program. So what the GEMP does is that you've done your 4-year degree, right, in health sciences. You've done your BSc, you've done your nursing, you've done your whatever, and you want to be a doctor now. So you now need to be the creme de la creme of your course, of your your faculty, basically. So you're top 10 of the faculty, but not just in your university, in the country. And I mean, there are some people that are exceptional, circumstantial evidence that allow for the university to say, okay, you did BCom, but then you also had chemistry and physics while you're doing BCom. That's wonderful. And you excelled, we'll take you. You know what I'm saying? So now you do your medicine for 5 years instead. 4 years theory and 1 year practicals. So some people would say it's a shortcut, but it's a shortcut that's not easy to get into if you're an average student like I am. I consider myself to be average and just above average, But if you're an exceptional student, why not just go the route of applying from scratch and going the 7-year?
So guys, I hope you're listening. If you want your child to become a medical doctor, you heard it from her. My last question, remember I asked you two.
Yes.
You said gyna. What else if not gyna?
Oh, right. Ooh, I would definitely want to be a TV presenter.
Wow. Guys, look at this shift. At least the gynae I could understand. It's within the medical field. Now, our doctor is shifted to something different. How is it possible? Someone who loves the medical field now shifting to radio. Why radio?
I don't know if you know Dr. Cindy Fansale, the late Dr. Cindy Fansale.
Okay.
She was actually born and raised in Zimbabwe. She was Zimbabwean, but then she married a South African white man, and then she became Dr. Cindy Fansale. She was a medical doctor, a health activist, and she was a TV personality. She was an author. She wrote books. Unfortunately, she passed away during COVID, but she still is one of the women that inspire me. Her life story is such an inspiration. Medicine, TV, author, wow, a woman of everything. She was well recognized by the UN, and I think for me that means a lot. It speaks volumes as to what you can do as a girl child and succeed as a woman as well.
That makes sense. So don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself.
Thank you so much, Nadine, for agreeing to come to my YouTube channel. Guys, it took me a lot of I was always in a DM. Girl, I want to host you. And after 4 months, she came, guys.
And I'm happy that I came.
Yes, she's a
honestly.
busy person. Like she was telling you about nursing, they're always doing practicals, this and that. So today she had a free day, and I was like, "Girl, please come."
Let's do it.
And finally she's here. So guys, from this, always be patient. After 4 months, I finally like hosted Nadine. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned a lot. Nadine, what do you want to say to our viewers before we bounce out?
I want to say that the world is your oyster, right? The world is your oyster, and you can do literally anything with it. You can choose to make pearls out of sand. You can choose to build a sand castle out of mud. It doesn't make sense, but it's your world, and you can do literally anything with what is available. Just because you don't have it, just because you don't have certain things, it doesn't mean that's where it ends. Your journey is an ongoing process, and trust and believe that process.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like my video, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. We are on a journey to 1,000 subscribers. Till we meet again on our next video. Bye.
Bye.